Okay, ready. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Personnel Committee meeting on January 21st, 2026. Is there any courtesy of the floor? Seeing none, we'll go to discussion regarding the appointment of the Northampton County Council Solicitor. Is there any questions? I believe we have a resume of Matt Deschler.
Mr. Matt Deschler is here for questions.
Start with an introduction? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we
Come
do
on
that?
up. Yep, that'll be fine.
Thank you. Yes, so I'm Matthew Deschler. I'm pleased to be considered for the position. Just by way of background, I'm a lifelong Bethlehem resident. Currently live in Northampton County. I've been practicing law for now 12 years. I'm dating myself. I clerked at a law school beginning in 2011 for Judge Beltrami, who just recently retired, 2 years of that. And since 2013, I've been practicing in a couple of firms, all of which included my father, who's also an attorney. I currently practice with 5 other attorneys in a firm called Shea, Santee, Kelhart, and Deschler. General civil practice. I do some criminal defense work, a lot of land use work and municipal work as well, and some general civil litigation. At present, I am an assistant solicitor in the city of Bethlehem. I've had that position since 2014, so 12 years now, with the new administration, or actually with the re-inauguration of the current administration. I'm currently the borough solicitor at East Bangor Borough. I'm the alternate zoning solicitor in Salisbury Township, and I was just appointed as the zoning hearing board solicitor for Hanover Township. So, and I've done some special municipal work as well, kind of per assignment. So that's sort of the background of my municipal work. So I'm familiar with advising a council before, because under the borough code, while the council is kind of the executive of the municipality, it's obviously also the legislative body. So I'm familiar with kind of fielding questions from a variety of directions and answering those kind of as they come up, as well as advising the council as a whole when it meets in session. So I guess that's my spiel to begin with. If I'm selected, if I have the honor to do that, I'm looking forward to starting work. I think I have a particular interest in this kind of work. I find it satisfying and both professionally and personally to represent municipal bodies. I know how hard people work and sort of the sacrifices they make, and so I'd be just looking forward to it if you were to kind of give me the honor of hiring me.
Any other question? Any questions for Mr. Deschler?
Yeah, I'll ask a couple. I'm assuming you looked at or thought about any kind of conflict of interest with all the municipalities, if the municipalities come before county council, or in some way, can you just talk about maybe your thought process and vetting all that and coming to the conclusion that, there will not be, I would imagine in your opinion, since you're here, any kind of conflict with ongoing representation from the municipalities?
Sure. Just kind of for the lay of the land, I do court-appointed conflicts counsel work for criminal defense matters here in the county. I'm in that capacity. I'm representing criminal defendants, so that's actually my client, not the county or court administration. If there's a problem with that, I know court matters come before council. I think that can be worked out. In addition to that, for the city, I think there may be matters, and even there's, I think, a matter that I'm aware of that might be coming to your attention soon from the city. I mean, I guess we can handle that kind of on a case-by-case basis. I don't foresee many issues. I do, like, all of the land use work for the city, and I feel like a lot of those kind of issues would be the most prevalent to come before council. And since I've been doing that work, there have really been few and far between. I know there's a matter coming up perhaps regarding the release of certain covenants on the Bethlehem Greenway. I know that in the past there have been LERTA ordinances or resolutions where to get sort of for the property owner to get the full benefit of the tax incentive district, both the county and the city and the school district have to kind of all buy in. So those are the things that kind of come to mind. Obviously I'm aware that in my position, or what my position would be here, is just to sort of advise you on the procedure. Obviously, I'm, as a council solicitor, I would be agnostic as to the content of the ordinances. So I guess I think oftentimes the best way to resolve those issues are just to, advise the board in advance that, I work for the city as well. If there are any legal questions, I suppose, I don't know how often you have separate counsel or outside counsel or like a backup or alternate solicitor to handle stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff, it could come up, and whether there's a conflict or, and there may not be, because, you guys are the ones who vote on the substance of the ordinance. And as far as kind of advising on what the procedure is, I don't know that there'd be any kind of adverse interest between the city and the way the county would consider it. And obviously, the county solicitor's office would weigh in. But, I mean, that's something that could come to mind. In the interest of full disclosure, there are other members of my office who do work for, not for the county, not for the county solicitor's office, but for work for certain boards and authorities of the county. Joanne Kelhart is the solicitor to the General Purpose Authority, and my father, Michael Deschler, has for a number of years been the solicitor to the Revenue Appeals Board. And those are separate legal entities. In fact, when appeals are taken from the Revenue Appeals Board, my father does not represent the county on those appeals. The county solicitor's office steps in. Mr. Corriere has handled those for many years. So I don't foresee any conflicts coming from those directions.
Do you have any input on that, Mr. Spinoni, or any comment of?
I think he's handled it
Okay.
very well.
Any,
Frankly, if he does alert you to a conflict, which may be few and far between, you have the option of getting an alternate solicitor to handle that particular matter. It may or may not arise, but it doesn't seem to be with any frequency.
Thank you for that. I think we're fortunate to have you as an applicant, so thank you.
Thank you.
any other questions for Mr. Deschler? I think,
I have two questions.
yep. Go ahead, Lori.
Well, my first question is not for him, but in general, is there a posted salary for this position?
Was this in the budget? Correct. I believe.
Lori, it's in the budget. You passed an ordinance back in resolution salary list. You have the solicitor, controller, everything like that, and all the salaries are in here from 25 and 26, what they are. It's
Well,
on the-
I'm driving, so I can't see it, sorry. So I'm asking.
It is 72,158 a year.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure that it was kept up to date beyond what we hired Mr. Spadoni at years ago. My
Yeah,
second question for Mr. Deschler is, how do you see this position as different from what you've done with the other boards and authorities?
I suppose that in my capacity here, should I be appointed, I would be, the difference would be that I would be advising the council as a purely legislative body. Obviously, with the county, you have a separation of powers. And the most analogous example that I have is doing the work for East Bangor Borough. But like I said, in that situation, the executive and the legislative functions are commingled. So I'm kind of wearing not two hats, but like a combined hat. So I'm aware that in this position, I'm really just advising the legislative body as a purely legislative body. And I suppose maybe the work is more just kind of contemplating or trying to foresee what might come to us. The work is more, I would say, reactive, where things come in and you're kind of responding to them, as opposed to maybe working more with the executive branch like I do, both in East Bangor Borough and especially in the city, where there's kind of a more kind of driving force to things. For example, I know that in the city, and I think maybe it's similar here in the county, a lot of the ordinances are administration driven. So you see, when you're working for the administration, you're partaking in a lot of that work, whereas, as the council solicitor, you're sort of reviewing a lot of the work that's done by the administration, just crossing the T's and dotting the I's and things like that, and then advising your client, the collective council, on, does this violate any particular provision, let's say of the Home Rule Charter or the Administrative Code or any applicable state statute, just sort of advising your client, the counsel, as to what the sort of the confines of the decision-making are. And then obviously within those confines, it's up to the elected representatives to make the actual decisions.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Deshler?
No, I think your answers were excellent, and I appreciate your resume. So,
Thank you.
Deshler, I think you're in my district, so up in East Bangor, so that's fine, you're good.
I enjoyed going up there very much. Sometimes not at night in the cold, but it's they're good people up there, and it's I've enjoyed doing it. I think I've done that the last maybe 4 years, and I plan on keeping at it. So yeah.
Yeah, you blink your eye, you're going through East Bangor, pretty much. I need a motion to move it forward, do we?
I'll make a motion. I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Deshler.
Thank you.
Next will be the review of the county executive cabinet appointments, the director of administration, which is Mark Andre. I see Mark's here. Is there any questions for Mark, or the executive is here also, if you need?
Somebody introduce or do a little intro or a little song and dance, Madam Executive, or something?
No, I'm not going to do a dance for you. Come on, David. Listen, it's been quite a day. I'm excited to be alive, though, and I'm excited to be standing here in front of you good people, presenting my new cabinet members. Mark Arend, you would know him from the controller's office. He was my deputy controller there, and my deputy administration here. I think that his experience as a lawyer and with nonprofits and throughout his career have been invaluable to me. And he is a wealth of knowledge, and I think the two of us together make a dynamic pair. I will let him say kind words about himself, okay?
Thank you.
Well, it's good to see you all tonight, and my resume is in front of you, I believe, and presumably speaks for itself in most respects. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I am honored to have this opportunity to serve the county and the people of Northampton, and look forward to working with Tara and her administration and all of you to bring about good outcomes for the people of Northampton County. Any questions?
Any questions for Mark? I'll need a motion to move forward to tomorrow night's meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next will be the Director of Corrections. I'm sure Tara, the executive, will announce.
Madam Executive, thanks. No, just kidding. For the Director of Corrections, I'm very proud to present Deanne Lawrence. She has a wealth of history in the criminal justice system, and she is also a Bethlehem Township Commissioner, councilperson. Commissioner, thank you. And I think that when a door opens for one woman, it's very important to open the door for another woman, and also even more important to open a door for a woman of color. Now I know that Deanne is extremely experienced in this position, and I've known her for quite some time, and I think that she will be an extraordinary addition to our Department of Corrections, and I'm very proud to have her on my team. So I'll let her say kind words about herself.
Hello, I'm very honored to take on this position if you guys will have me. Always with corrections, the safety and the security of the institution. I just want to make sure that the laws of the state and federal are maintained and bridge a gap between the officers, the upper staff, and the inmates. Thank you.
I would just like to say I appreciate your combination of experience in the corrections industry as well as your municipal government experience, so.
Thank you.
All right, accept the motion to move that forward for tomorrow night?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is review of the personnel request. Court services is the first one, where they're looking for a full-time clerical specialist. And at the pay grade is CS GR 17-3-C, to be also at salary of $77,494, and benefits with that, and then the salary is $45,533 in the Department of Court Services. And they want to upgrade the one full-time position specialist to CS-GR 27-1-A, total salary and benefits of $99,628. The salary is $66,073, effective tomorrow, January 23rd, 2026. Are there any questions?
Is anybody here from the courts?
I don't see anybody.
Was this one missed when we did the $500,000 worth of salary increases for the courts? And
No, this is court services. This is actually an appointed position that you might remember a certain individual named Amy Cozy worked in the administration. This was a position that was taken from court corrections and put into my office, my current office. I am repurposing this appointment to create not a new position, but again, a repurposed position for a program specialist in the prison to run reentry programs, workforce development, reentry, and to coordinate the program with the state so that we can make sure we maintain Act 37 and all the statutory requirements in the prison.
so you're taking what was in your office, so that little middle desk will be empty?
Sure. No, she's going to sit there.
And you're putting it in the prison, you're gonna have somebody coordinate what we used to do with LEAP and all the programs.
Yes.
So,
That used to, this person who we hope to appoint to that used to be an outside consultant that did that. We're just bringing it all in-house. It's a lot cheaper.
So as a new person, help explain, like, where does the money come from for the difference?
It comes from the court liaison budget. There is extra money in the budget. The way that they do budgeting is a lot of times there's vacancies, and they'll take from that vacancy and put it there. So there is money for this position.
So a position will not be filled, and some of that money is going to be used to bump
There was a
this up.
position that was already existed, that we have repurposed. Most of the money will come up from that. And then the balance is going to be taken from courts. Court services, sorry.
It would
court
be helpful
services.
to, like, have that explained, because for somebody to say there's extra money, I don't think we ever hear that term here.
No,
So
no, and
where
I
is
can
that coming
say it's
from?
very,
Money to budget.
there is
Is it
money.
budgeted money, and is
There
it
is-
just moving it within your budget, and it's not
It's
extra money?
moving within the budget. It's not extra, it's money that has not specifically been allocated. But you'll notice when we do the budgets, most of the time the money is pooled, right? So you're taking it from the pool and you're pulling it up into a position like this, for instance.
I appreciate the explanation.
There
I'm
is
just
some
trying to-
flexibility. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of wiggle room in this budget, and I'll be the first to recognize that. But in order to create these positions, they're also eliminating the need to contract with outside consultants.
That's helpful to know, because that just bolsters it, because for this
Yeah.
position and the next one, it's more money, so where's that money coming from?
Sure.
The obvious question, so,
I get it.
yeah. So
We're all concerned with the bottom line. Thanks.
Any other questions for the executive?
I think what I would like to
I
see.
just have
with,
one, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ms. Hefner.
Just in that explanation, then, where will this position be housed? Who would be the supervisor of this person?
So this current position is under courts and corrections, but that the program specialist will be advised by the warden, and the warden specifically for workforce development, and then she will also report to my office. This would give the administration a little bit more communication on what's going on in the prison as well, because we'd have constant contact with somebody coming back and forth to our office and the prison who can let us know what's happening with these programs.
Can I ask Ms. Lawrence's opinion
Thank
of
you.
this, since it's a correction? I'm sorry, I'm like jumping in, I apologize.
On day 2, Deanne, come on up and give us a...
Well, you're talking about corrections, right? Since she's going to be the director, is,
Go ahead, Mr. Holland, you're all recognized. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Is this something that's going to be helpful to you?
I think it will be
okay.
helpful to keep it in-house. As Tara said, using vendors sometimes can be costly if we do have to pay them. Some are volunteer programs, but I think it would help if it was in-house. And if we don't have to try to get budgeted money from somewhere else, if it's already in the budget, that works for me.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm sorry, I misspoke about who this individual would report to. They would report to Ken Brown, because they would report to court services. But also, obviously, they'd be in communication with the warden and the warden for workforce development and myself. But the direct supervision comes from court services, and that would be Mr. Brown.
So you're saying Kenny's going to supervise a person that's sole purpose is to work in the prison for programs that stop recidivism?
Well, for the purposes of repurposing this position in order to create it, because it exists in court services, the person that that individual reports to has to be Ken Brown. Just because of the structure.
It was taken from court services and put it as in the executive's office
Sure,
when Amy was there. So
Sure.
why don't you just take it from the executive office and put it in the prison,
because that,
their education, and have the director report to them?
well,
I mean, kinda
technically,
Convoluted, you know.
It is
I
very
worked in the jail.
convoluted.
I'm not understanding why somebody would be from court services appointed to overseeing recidivism programs at the jail or educational programs and have like 3 masters. I don't understand.
sure, the way that this works in theory is different than it works in reality, I guess I want to say. Because on paper, this person reports to Ken Brown because the court services position exists under court services. Even Ms. Cozy's position existed under court services. And regardless of whether she reported to Mr. Brown or to Lamont McClure, that's the structure for the purposes of constructing a job description and employee file. So some of it is just perfunctory, but it's not necessarily probably how the actual job will play out, if that makes sense.
Not really. Do we still have the GED person there that's doing GEDs for people in the prison? It's another education, just
Sure,
independent of
sure.
LEAP and the other things that we had that were not renewed this year.
So we are currently going to meet with the warden and the rest of the corrections on Friday to reevaluate the programming there. So I'm going to suspend my answer to that question for the moment.
That's run through Easton School District, I believe. It has to be there for some reason. They've had it for years, so they get GEDs. All right, I don't understand why you're doing it this way, but I'll support it for you.
It's just part of the convoluted process that exists with our home rule charter and administrative code. It's the way
Right.
that it's outlined.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Hefner.
Well, and Mr. Kraft might be the one, would this not make sense? Like the desire to hire the person, the purpose of the person, that all makes sense. But to have it in the place where it is, why not do a budget amendment to move the money if the money does not exist in the place where you want this person to work?
I think that's more complicated. That's not what we need to do right now, is do a budget amendment. The money exists where it is, where the position exists. And that's the only way I could answer it. I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Jason.
So I think what I'd like to see with requests to upgrade positions like this in the future, I think it'd be helpful to have the old job description, the new job description, so we can see what roles were being performed and will possibly not be performed in the future versus what roles will be performed and justification for the salary increase.
Sure. We could probably have that for you tomorrow.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Great.
Any other questions for Ms. Zirinsky, executive? Seeing none, I need a motion to move this forward till tomorrow night.
I'll make the motion.
All right, thank you. All right, next one, fiscal affairs, review personnel requests. We're full-time executive secretary, pay grade CS-GR 19-1-A. Total salary and benefits $77,691. Salary is $45,716. In the Department of Fiscal Affairs, an upgraded one full-time communication manager, pay grade CS-GR 31-1-A. Total salary and benefits $114,021. Salary is $79,431, effective January 23rd, 2026. So that's the next review request. Any questions on the executives? Creating a new position as communications manager, I'm assuming.
So this has a really interesting background. Somewhere in the 80s, our IT department was put under fiscal. And so all of the IT-related jobs were created in fiscal. It's why our website was made by our fiscal administrator, which is kind of amusing. But fiscal, had a executive secretary that they could not find a use for, and as a position, they didn't feel it was necessary, and it was an appointment, and our office felt that we needed a position for communications. It is one of the hallmarks of my vision for the county executive's office to become more transparent, and so we will have a lot more press. We will have a lot more media coverage. We will have a lot more dialogue with the public and a lot more communication within, not just with the public and with the media, but interdepartmental communication. And we felt that this position of fiscal executive secretary could be repurposed as a director of communications.
Go ahead.
None of the other departments have an executive secretary currently, just fiscal?
No, I have an executive secretary.
Well, I know you do, but
There are other departments that have executive secretaries. If you want me to find out exactly how many executive secretaries there are that we employ, I can very much do that, but no. It's not like fiscal's fielding calls a lot from the media or from, they're not posting things on Facebook, and if they were, we're really trying to funnel everything through a communications department, so to speak, like, so that there's a unified message that goes out in the county.
So this money is coming, this money's coming out of the fiscal affairs budget.
Sure, as I cleared it with Brandon, he's all on board. That would be Brandon Dunstain, sorry.
So this was a position that was not filled in the fiscal services
It is a
budgeted.
position that is not career service, it is an appointed position.
Okay.
It was filled, to my knowledge, it was filled for about 2 months last year, at the end of the year, and the person that was there was more or less scanning documents.
So if it was left unfilled, then that money would still be available in your executive budget or in the fiscal budget?
Fiscal.
In the fiscal budget, okay. So this is a new position?
It is a new position, yeah. It's a repurposed position, not a new position. So it's not like I'm creating positions out of thin air. I'm just creating the positions that I think that we need from positions that already exist.
To Mr. Bullett's point, is there a job description for this position?
Yeah.
And
I will have more of the job descriptions to.
do we have that? I didn't see it, so.
I don't know if they gave you that one. I have one here for communications manager. I can definitely have copies available for you tomorrow,
That would be
if that
helpful.
would be helpful.
That
And do
would
you
definitely be
also want the copies of the previous job description of the fiscal executive secretary and the number of executive secretaries that are employed throughout the county?
That would be a question that Mr. Boulett asked, so maybe he can answer that.
I think if we're upgrading a position, I would like to see the old job description.
Sure. Sure.
Mr. Kraft?
Yeah, I have a question. So this will be paid through fiscal, but it'll be in your office under your direction,
Yes.
just like the other one. Now, it's for communications and things like that. I thought that was the job description of the deputy director, your deputy director.
So, that is another interesting point. Everybody and every department has a director, and that director is supposed to appoint the deputy director by Home Rule Charter. So that appointment would be made by my deputy director, and that person would be in his service to some extent. So the way that Lamont used that individual, she was more or less, or that position was more or less the communications person or catch-all.
I think that's a job description. In the job description of
Well, these job descriptions do get changed and updated. And so we are in the process of changing that so that that administrative position focuses more on policy and procedure and helping with elections, as we know that that is a really important part of the deputy director's job. Elections this year is going to be one of my priorities, and currently our deputy director is already helping out our elections team.
your office, and it's going to, their job, you don't have a job description, but their job is going to be to coalesce all the offices in the whole county and put out one kumbaya version of what's going on.
I wouldn't say kumbaya,
just
but
go back to words.
you know, I can read off some of the essential duties. So develop and implement an integrated communication strategy for Northampton County that includes media relations, digital communications, public information, and internal communication. Right now, we are consulting with other outside media consultants. So one of the things that I think that we can do is bring our communications in-house. And again, that would lower the cost of communications and would help unify our message. Another is communicates the county executive's vision, priorities, and initiatives in clear, accessible language, and emphasizes purpose over politics, transparency, shared problem-solving, coordinates messaging across departments to ensure timely, accurate updates on county services, emergencies, elections, budget decisions, and key initiatives in areas such as economic development, housing, human services, and environmental protection. Strengthens public participation by promoting town halls, executive summits, advisory groups, and community engagement processes, evaluating the voices of residents. Oversees crises and emergency communications in partnership with emergency management services, ensuring residents receive clear, actionable information during incidents. Leads internal communication strategies that keep county employees informed, valued, and connected to the county's mission, emphasizing respect for their expertise and contributions. Manage relationships with local and regional media, community organizations, and partner institutions to share accurate information and highlight county successes and innovations. Ensures communication practices and materials are inclusive, accessible, and culturally competent, using formats and platforms that reach diverse communities across Northampton County, and supports transparency and accountability by clearly explaining budget decisions, performance metrics, and policy changes to the public, and then monitors public feedback, media coverage, and community concerns, providing regular briefings and recommendations to the county executive and department leadership. So you can see that is a full-time position.
So it's going to be from career service and it's going to be appointed now?
It's not part of career service. It was an
Executive
appointment.
secretary was career service, weren't
No,
they?
it was an appointed position. So the appointed positions in the offices, according to the Home Rule Charter, are deputy,
Executive secretaries were career service.
there's director, deputy director, and executive secretary.
Well, I know there's a director and a deputy director. Well, the deputy directors, I know that one, but
Executive.
executive secretaries are
Yes.
career
Go ahead.
service.
So
They are career service, right?
it's a mess. But,
mess.
yeah, but we're trying to make it work for us,
Okay, but it's
right?
a simple yes or no. It was a career service. It has to be. if
No,
it's a
so in some departments, the appointed positions are the department head and a deputy.
They call it a deputy secretary.
In,
instead of
in, but in other departments, there's a department head and an executive assistant. The nomenclature, the naming of these appointed positions varies from department to department. All it really represents in the end is that the department chair gets one appointment. So there are two appointed people in each department, whatever you're calling them.
So who's appointing this person? You are. So you have how many appointments now?
Through the fiscal department.
Through the fiscal department.
So this is the second chair of an appointed position within the fiscal department.
Fiscal's happy with you appointing somebody.
Well, we don't have a fiscal director at the moment, so.
Yeah, I know that too. That's coming up, but.
So they
We're
can't,
working on it.
object because the position, I'm sorry, they can't object
right.
because the position isn't.
Is empty at the moment. We're working on it.
All right,
Interject for a moment. Many county executives come in and repurpose positions and shuffle people around. And so if we look at the Home Rule Charter, there's a certain way the Home Rule Charter says to do things, and then there's a certain way that county executives interpret how that is. I'm really trying to, in the spirit of the Home Rule Charter, allow the deputy to, the director of administration to appoint a deputy. But I also need a communications person, and the county needs a communications person so that we don't have to continue using consultants for all of our campaigns.
I'm trying to get there for you, Tara, really. I'm just, I have questions and,
Go ahead. It's a little
it's gonna be
convoluted, I
another
get it.
appointee for you, but it's going through, I know it's a convoluted way you're doing it, but it's just,
I just want to reiterate that all of Lamont's appointments were his appointments,
I know that.
including executive secretaries and every deputy.
Directors too.
That's right.
Yeah, I know that.
Go ahead, Mr. Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Giovanni. I know that I'm not on the Personnel Committee, but I wanted to be here because these positions are important for the future of the county. I will say this, I'm going to be very supportive of the Communications Manager position for a number of reasons. I work for a nonprofit. At that nonprofit, I'm the director of outreach and communications. At that nonprofit, our boss, the executive director, could have gone outside and hired a consultant, would have cost a lot more money. And my job is to make sure that not only the outside world understands what our nonprofit is doing, but that I'm able to keep consistent communication with the staff, with the board of trustees, et cetera. So communications positions are extremely important. They're not necessarily these cushy type of positions. I think that certain folks may think that they are. I'm not saying anybody on this dais right now. I'm just saying in general. Communications positions are extremely important, and if we can get outside the realm of consultants and hiring extremely expensive consultants, I think we need to absolutely do that. And quite frankly, we have a new administration coming in here. They want to do things a little bit differently. I think council needs to give them the latitude to be able to do that. So I just wanted to mention that I'm supportive of this position, the rest of the positions as well, Madam County Executive, and you'll be getting a yes vote from me.
Any other questions?
I have a
for-
question.
Yep, go ahead, Ms. Hefner.
Hello?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe it's not a question, but I have no problem with what is trying to be done, and I appreciate finding money to make the positions that the county executive wants to make. I do have a problem when they're not in the budget in line, that we're not following the process of reclassifying the position, moving the position, moving the money, and then appointing the person. And if it takes 3 steps to do it, to get it done right, I think we should do that. And to be able to say, well, they're here, but they're there, but they're here. If you need them to be in your office, just let's create the position or move the position or transfer. Because I hear what Mr. Kraft is saying. Like, it's not about the idea, it's about how it needs to be done. Ultimately, it is a budgetary decision, and it needs to be taken from one place and put in another. And I just think that that's council's job, and we have to make sure that that's done correctly.
So I just want to say that we have been in constant contact with Human Resources, who is directing the trajectory of our process. And this is what we were told that we need to do in order to get these positions. So I'm going to turn this over to Mary Lou so that she can explain better.
Just to hopefully clear some things up. So the Home Rule Charter outlines that the county executive can appoint the directors, and each director has what is termed a confidential employee, which is another appointed position within that department. So the Home Rule Charter outlines the number of appointed positions. Both of the positions that Ms. Zirinsky wants to upgrade are appointed positions, and that is why we can't move them from where they are, because under the Home Rule Charter, that's where it has to stay. Does that make more sense?
You'd have to change the Home Rule Charter. Is that what you're saying?
Because she's repurposing positions that exist. As appointed positions. That's why, yes, otherwise I would recommend that you take a position and move it into whatever department you want it to be. But these are appointed positions. And so as the Home Rule Charter outlines them, there's 2 for each department.
You know what, that was a great succinct explanation. I'm sorry I couldn't get there on the first try, but Mr. Kraft, thanks for bringing it home. And I think we all have it now, right?
Ms. Hefner, you all right with the explanation?
I heard it.
Okay. Anything else for the executive, Zirinsky? Is there a motion to send this forward?
I'll make the motion.
Super awesome, thank you.
All right. Anything else for the go to the order for the personnel?
Can I just say for the,
We're going to get you all that information, I tell you.
and it's a learning process,
Sure.
and, you know, things that, in order to work together, we just need more information. Like, to come
Sure.
and ask for a position at $114,000 a year without a job description for that position is really kind of unconscionable, right? I mean, you get that.
Sure,
Okay.
you could tell
I
me
just
it's
wanna make sure that we're on the
unconscionable,
same
but
page.
it has been a crazy week. So just give me a little bit of grace for today, and I'm going to get everything that you need tomorrow, okay? Thank you so much. It's going to be great.
Okay, nothing else for the good of the order. I'll make a motion to adjourn our committee meeting.
Second for that, or we're good?
Good.
Then I will convene the Finance Committee meeting for January 21st, 2026. First, I'd like to ask if there's anyone from the public that would like to address council for courtesy of the floor. Not seeing anyone, we'll move on to the first agenda item, which is a review of the Administrative Code, Article 13 contract request for Hanover Engineering. Is there anyone from the administration present to discuss this contract?
Good evening, Council. I'm Michael Emili, Director of Public Works. So this change order request is in regards to an ongoing trail project, the Two Rivers Trail Gap 9A. We've completed the northern half of the project last year. We're currently finishing up the design work on the southern portion, extending from the Plainfield Township Trail on Sullivan Trail to Filetown Road. During the review process with PennDOT, they had requested a number of changes that had necessitated additional work for our designer, Hanover Engineering. They were required to obtain 4 shared use path crossing signal easements from property owners that were not, we didn't envision that as part of the original scope of work. We also had to revise an easement that we had previously obtained due to some of PennDOT's requested changes. They also needed to obtain or attend additional meetings with Plainfield Township that were not included in the original scope of work. When we completed the northern section in Bushkill Township, we were able to get a waiver from the land development process. Plainfield Township did not allow us to do that, so there was some additional billing related to that. And those account for the requested total of $29,000.
Thank you, Mr. Mealy. Does any member of council have any questions?
Again, it's just my regular question, like, where does that extra money come from? Like, is it already budgeted? Do we have overrun? Like, just help me understand that.
So the majority of the project is being funded through grants that we've obtained. Okay. Anything outside of that is funded through Act 13, and that money, we do have money available to cover the expenses in Act 13.
Okay. Kraft? Thank you, Mr. Mealy.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Ms. Hefner.
Hello?
Yes.
Mr. Mealy.
Yes.
You mentioned PennDOT, and I realize that when we deal with them, there's always change orders. Is there any way to be able to circumvent or prepare for those when they're, or was this the error of the company that was hired for not looking forward and seeing that?
It's not
possibility.
It's really to no fault of Hanover Engineering. It's just, this is a first of its kind type of project, trying to construct a trail within PennDOT's limited right of way. So it's a bit of a learning curve for everyone involved with this.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Mealy. All right, the second item is a contract for MPC Inc. Is there anyone from the administration present to discuss this contract?
I thought Mr. O'Brien was going to be here. This is an elections renewal for envelope supplies. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think it's just a basic renewal for the services that MPC provides us on our mail-in ballot envelopes.
Looks like we're adding a 2-year extension in the amount of $258,805.
Correct.
Total 5-year cost of $521,551.11.
Yes. And this is grant eligible cost, by the way.
An extension on a contract we've already had.
Correct.
We're just
Yes, we're not changing vendors. This is our current vendor.
We're just moving it out 2 more years.
Yes. Okay.
Does any member of council have questions?
Yes, correct. Yep, absolutely.
Just introduce yourself so we know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm Chris Camini, the Registrar of Elections.
Thank you. I
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know, I'm just, as people come
Yeah,
up,
you'll
I'm
be
like,
seeing a lot of me.
just tell me who you are, that's all I do.
Sure,
That's all I
no
need to
worries.
know
My
is-
apologies.
to start with. That's it, thanks.
No further questions? Thank you, Mr. Giovanni. Thank you, Mr. Comini. The third item is two-way communications for the ESINet systems. Is there anyone from the administration here for this contract?
Todd Weaver, Director from Northampton County Emergency Management. Pays to go last.
Anticipated that.
So, the ESINet, which is Emergency Service Network, that's our network that connects us between Lehigh County because of shared radio and CAD and network systems. So, this was applied for through the state 15% fund through PEMA, through the $1.95 fee they collect. The grant was awarded and signed off, so this is kind of a procedure. It's actually a state contract, but because it meets the thresholds, we're here every year for our maintenance on our network. Because if you have any more deeper questions, I can explain it some more.
No county funding for this one, it's all coming from the state.
This is all from the state 15% fund.
Any member of council have any questions?
Just that we have to approve spending any money, so every year he has to come, well, several times a year, you have to come back and ask, can I spend the money that I have? And that's how we do it.
All right, I get to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, do we have a motion to move this one forward?
I'll make a motion to
I'll
move.
second it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Weaver. And I guess you can stay up there because the next item is yours as well.
Yep.
Two-way communications for the Vesta 911.
Yes, the Vesta 911, or what we refer to as CHE, is call handling equipment. That is basically the phones that the dispatcher answers the 911 calls on. So every year, we have to come up and get approval to spend the funds. This is, again, paid for and in our budget out of the state 15% fund, and the grant was awarded and signed, so we'll be getting our first automatic payment probably within the next month or two. But this covers the maintenance, and again, it's a shared project. That's why it's covered under the state interconnectivity, because our phone systems are shared between us and Lehigh County.
Questions from council? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll motion through, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Giovanni. And then the last item, again, Mr. Weaver, Wind Gap Electric.
This is Wind Gap Electric. Our UPS, our uninterrupted power source at the 911 center, is at end of life this year. So we started the RFP process, I think in November, went into December, so it actually spanned over. These funds are in our, what we call our 83% fund. That is the fund of money that we get allotted from the state that is allocated by formula. Still kind of the same pool from the 15, but the state kind of divides it in different pools. So this is in our 83% fund. It is under a capital line item and will actually roll when Brandon does the rolls into 2026, because this process was already started. Our recommendation is to make the award to Wind Gap Electric. Again, there was 2 responses to the RFP that you saw in your paperwork, and 1 no bid. We were fairly specific on the RFP of the actual unit that's going in. We're actually upgrading it a little bit to a bigger unit, to a 40 kW that can be expanded later to a 60 kW. And it also is replacing our battery power backup. So basically, even though we have a generator, when the power flips out for that 30 seconds, we need to stay on batteries to keep the lights on and the computers and all that stuff running. Generator spools up and we're good. If not, we have it set for giving us a set amount of minutes. It's a fairly long time. If you want to know, come visit, and I can probably give you that exact time, but don't really want to disclose our amount of time up.
Fair enough. Any questions from council for Mr. Weaver? Okay. Thanks.
Second it again.
Thank you again, Mr. Giovanni, Mr. Kraft, and thank you, Mr. Weaver.
Not a problem.
I
Thank
do
you.
have a question for Todd. How are we making out our construction for our P25?
Oh, P25. It was a cold December when we went out to the tower site visits with Motorola. So they go out with their tape measures, and believe me, they measure everything. And they did it in our first snowstorm we had in December, so it was a treat. We did make it to the top of the Transco Tower above Penargil with 8 inches of snow and made it down safely. So that part is progressing. The next step that they'll start doing is what they call tower surveys. They'll climb the towers or survey everything, look at weight loading and ice and all that, and then we have a design review with them as they start
loading it. A lot of the equipment is already ordered and being staged at one of their Motorola offices in Harrisburg, where they'll bring it up, test it, and start that process. They already did some license loading. Site 1 system has already been converted 100% to TDMA. If you want to know that, I can get techie offline on you. So some of that work, preliminary work, is done, and what they'll do is before they load and install the northern sites, they'll actually get us to the current version on the entire system, get that up. So then we're at a nice clean version once again, and we'll be at the mercy of another maintenance in a couple years after that. Their target timeline is hopefully to have that complete by the end of '26. We're starting now to load the police departments in the southern area onto the network. A lot of our beta testing has worked well for that, and we're starting to beta and load some of the, working with some of the fire departments to get them to beta and give us some feedback on the southern area. We just can't load anybody to the northern side yet. Those towers are up.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Update.
I have just a minute. I don't know if you all know, but Todd has submitted his resignation.
Nope,
Retirement, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Retirement. As of February 2nd?
Yes.
Yes.
Chris is gone.
So, yeah. So I just want to publicly acknowledge Todd's many years of faithful service. There will be other acknowledgements, but I just wanted to do this on the county council record. So thank you for all of your work, your dedication, your 24/7 availability, and we hope we can call on you in an emergency if we need
It's been
to.
the last 8 years now, right? It's already been 8 years in this.
28+ years total with the county.
Yeah, but I mean 8 running.
In the director position, it was 10 years.
10. Let's get.
2 acting, and then,
Okay.
and then.
Well, thanks, really. Thank you for all your work and 24 hours. I know you're there. You're at Music Fest. You're in that mobile thing. You're everywhere. And I hope we can find someone.
Go down to 1.
I know. You're not going to know what to do with yourself, believe me.
I'm hoping.
We retired and didn't know what to do with ourselves.
Finish the project.
They're in good hands.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Thank you, really.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service,
Yeah.
Mr. Weaver.
Yeah.
All right, we have no further agenda items, so